I'm Ted at Handy Horseman. Today we're going to work on doctoring a wound or a sore spot on a horse, and we're going to do it in a way we've done it here for many years, in a traditional or old-fashioned way, old school. What we've got here today is we've got a big crossbred horse, and right here on his heel, if you look, he has what I would call scratches, which is just like an infection that horses get. It's kind of common in horses, particularly with white feet. And what we're going to do is Nicole and I are going to mix up a batch of what we call schmutz. It's an old-fashioned remedy that we've used here for many, many different reasons and many ways, but I think it'd be very helpful. Okay, we're inside the barn here, and Nicole is gonna demonstrate or help us how to make this salve, or we call it schmutz. All right, so what we did is we started out with lard. This regular old lard you get down at Walmart or wherever. Let me open the bucket up so you can see it. I mean, nothing fancy, folks, just lard, okay? And we take about 2 cups of that, and be sure to put it in a microwave safe bowl, and put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. And then that will come into a liquefied form, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix approximately 3 spoons of this sulfur. All right, so sulfur, you can get it at the garden center, at the feed store. It's just powdered sulfur. Okay, 3 spoons of that. So then we're going to add 1 spoon of salt. Now this happens to be Redmond salt that has garlic in it, which I think is going to be a pretty cool idea. All right, now we're going to take and add 1 spoon of olive oil. And this is bigger than a tablespoon. This is kind of like a serving spoon, let's say. Put a little more olive oil in there, Nicole, would you? Mm-hmm. Now the olive oil is good because that will make this very creamy, like hand cream. If you don't use the olive oil, it'll be kind of like in the lard category. All right, now here we have iodine. Just regular old commercial grade iodine like you get at the vet supply or somewhere, or feed store, or wherever you get it. So we're going to put 1 spoon of iodine in that, okay? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mix that up thoroughly, and that's going to make like a barbecue sauce looking arrangement there, okay? We've used this for many, many years. We keep about 100 to 150 head of horses here at Windy Hill Farm, and trust me, we've tried everything. And this is an old remedy that I've kind of accumulated and added to and taken away from. And we always put this at our tack area where we're tacking our horses. So if you have any cuts or any fungus, or like this horse outside's got some scratches around his bottom of his feet, if you get saddle sores, or if you get girth itch, or any bacterial or fungal dermal problem, works like a charm. All right, so now I got a nice little thing there I kept and didn't throw away, and now Nicole's going to pour that into my little container. Now normally we'd probably make more than this, but just for the sake of demonstration we kind of did it like this. So a lot of times when I make it, I'll make up enough for, you know, 6 months or a year, so that'd be this full container for us. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to pause the video, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll show you what it's going to have to set up overnight, and it'll set up into like a not solid form but like a creamy form, and we'll check in with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so our schmutz is pretty set up. Good enough that we can start putting it on the horse.
See, with the olive oil in there, it's not going to let it set up stiff, it'll be more creamy like hand cream. Okay. So olive oil and lard are both natural substances, so you don't want to use like a petroleum base for this. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna watch this. She's got a glove on. See that? All right, very good.
And I already washed this foot.
Yeah.
I already washed it with Epsom salt water, and I already put a little bit of a healing spray on it, but this will do great as well.
That's an awful lot, Nicole. You don't need that
I
much.
didn't realize.
Jeez.
I didn't realize how much was on there.
Holy smokes.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Why don't we just put it right in there?
There you go. So this is an antibacterial, antimicrobial salve, okay? So like under his feet, if he had thrush, or if he had an abscess, or anything bacteria or fungal, and what'll happen is that lard and that olive oil, see, that will soak in, and that will also repel moisture. Okay, so now that's going to stick with him for a couple 3 days, and then we'll come back and revisit it here, maybe here toward the end of the week, and maybe give it another application. Ready? So that's how you mix up what we call schmutz, and I'd say that every barn ought to have that on hand at all times. I could give you a list of a dozen or two different things that you can use that on. It has no chemical in it. It has no side effects. It can't do anything but help. Won't hurt a thing. If you use it around the horse's eyes, just be careful not to get it in the eye too much, but you can doctor wounds, ear mites, rain rot, cuts. If you use this on a cut with the olive oil in it, most likely you won't have a scar. And you have to keep a wound moist, and you have to keep it to where it heals from the inside out. Okay, so the iodine helps it to be a disinfectant, antiseptic, or whatever you want to call it. And most of these ingredients have been used for centuries, forever. The old dairy farmers used to wash the cows off before they milked them with an iodine soap. The Roman field surgeons would treat wounds on the battlefield with olive oil. If you go down to the farm store and look at all those potions they're selling you for $30 a bottle, every last one of them's got sulfur in it. Sulfur is a very commonly used thing for many, many things. We put sulfur in our mineral, for our trace mineral for our horses. So, I could go on all day about the benefits of sulfur, but it's a very good, innovative way to treat something without using an antibiotic or without using something so harsh you end up killing everything else. So we want to use things that don't kill good bacteria. We want to kill bad bacteria. So with that all said, there are ways to handle this where you don't have to use steroids and harsh chemicals. It might not work overnight, and it might not work as fast, but in the long run, I think you're better. So with that all said, give that a try. If you got any questions, you can go to our website, windyhillfarm.net. You can send me a message, and I can help you out. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, because we're going to be updating a lot of videos here in the near future, hopefully, time permitting. Our goal is to try to help you all navigate horsemanship and navigate running a farm and a horse farm and having livestock without having to call the vet every time the wind blows the wrong direction. Most of all these things we do, we learn from a lot of years of experience and a lot of old timers that shared with us different ways to do things. So be sure to subscribe and follow us. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know, and don't forget, go to our website. There's a lot of good information on there and a lot of videos on how to take care of about everything there is to do with horses. So with that, thank you for tuning in.